Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie, and on my channel, I like to talk about different tips that will help you be more productive in your business. And I just honestly love building a community around other women that are on their entrepreneurial journey. And today, I want to talk about becoming that girl. I'm sure that most of us have heard about this that girl aesthetic, and typically she's this girl that has her life put together. Let me move my head to show you what that girl, the things that girl would be doing. This girl just is focusing on her personal growth, her personal development. She's growing, she's learning, and she has a lot of healthy habits that help her be successful in her personal life and professional, perhaps financial life. At least that's how I interpret her. And the reason that I want to talk about this today is because although I know it's just another trend and it's just another lifestyle aesthetic that we see on Pinterest and TikTok and perhaps Instagram or other social media platforms, I do think there's a lot to be said for the habits that that girl embodies and that she represents and that she really tries to live by. So I wanted to make this video because I feel like if we're talking about that girl, this is what that girl would be doing. She would be taking her personal development so serious that she would make a whole ass PowerPoint out of it, which is what I'm doing today. So I hope you can appreciate how extra this is, but I really wanted to elaborate on some of those healthy habits and routines that you can implement today if you really want to live a better lifestyle. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is identifying your why. Let me make my head smaller. So, identifying your why, asking yourself, why do I want to be better? Why? What drives me? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Honestly, having a clear idea as to your purpose, your vision, why it is that you want to be better in life in general, really having a clear understanding of this is going to be what helps you get back up when you don't feel motivated, when you don't feel like going, when you don't feel like continuing on your journey. Having that why is going to be the catalyst to really get you like moving and pushing, keeping that momentum going in the difficult moments. So I really want you to sit down and take a weekend or a day or up to as long as you need to really identify why you do what you do, why you get up and you engage in the routines that you do, or why there are other aspects or habits that you want to pick up on. I really hope that your why is not just because you want to have a certain aesthetic on social media. Your why should really be about looking within. It should be internal. It should be about yourself. And it should be about wanting to better yourself and wanting to reach a better version of yourself so that you can then be a better person for people in your community, people in your network, your family, your friends, your loved ones. Only until you start nurturing yourself can you start nurturing the immediate world around you and then indirectly benefit others beyond just the immediate people that are around you. So really take some time to identify this key question. What is your why? Once you do that, number 2 is to buy a journal. Of course, you probably should do this before so you can journal your why on there. But what I mean by journal is that you really want to have the practice of writing on a daily basis. You really want to implement this habit of waking up or maybe before you go to bed, writing in this journal. Some things that I typically like to write about are express things that I am grateful for. There's always something to be grateful for, even when it seems like everything is crumbling and nothing is going right for us. There's always something that we should really think about and reflect on and think about how much worse our life would be if we didn't have that person, if we didn't have that characteristic, if we didn't have that fill in the blank. Another thing is to consistently write out your intentions. So number one was identifying your why. It really helps if you keep reminding yourself of this why. And if you don't want to keep on coming up with new intentions every day, which I get it. Sometimes like I don't even want to journal. It's just depending on your state of mind, it can be difficult to bring yourself to write something new. So really being repetitive and writing your why. Why do you want to achieve something? What is an intention that you're setting for the day? This doesn't have to change. It could change, but I feel like what really helped me was becoming repetitive with my why, writing it out every day, reminding myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So intentions are very important. And lastly, or just not lastly, but another additional thing that this journaling practice really helps you with is just sorting your thoughts. Sometimes I feel like we have so many things happening in here, especially when you're an entrepreneur, when you have so many things on your plate, that it becomes so easy to like become foggy of your own vision. So really taking the time to sort out those thoughts. And this also helps as you documenting your thoughts. You can always look back on whatever you write and realize how much progress you've made. So honestly, just documenting, taking at least 5 minutes. I only do this for 5 minutes daily. 5 minutes, sit down with your thoughts, express gratitude, write out your intentions. This is a key point to becoming that girl. Moving on to number 3. So number 3 is to establish routines. So we've seen all the cute videos of morning routines and night routines and workout routines. And honestly, like these are very important. Having routines means you have stability in your life. And this helps us progress as a person, as an individual. So you really want to have very clear morning routines. What I mean by clear is to have set out a specific time block in the morning that you're going to engage in this. Your activities in the morning could vary, but you really want to make sure that you're spending intentional time with yourself every morning. This doesn't mean you have to wake up at 5 a.m. if you don't want to. This doesn't mean that you have to wake up at any specific time. Like you set that time for yourself based on your specific situation and your schedule. But have at least 10 to 30 minutes of intentional time to yourself. What I do in the mornings is I like to stretch, I like to journal, I like to sometimes work out, and I like to read. So that's just what my morning routine looks like. It doesn't have to be the same for you. Another very important thing is to have established night routines. I feel like oftentimes we do the whole morning routine thing, but at night we don't have a way to relax and unwind and really go to bed peacefully without so much anxiety and stress. I know, at least for me, something I have to work on is I stay up working so late sometimes that it's so hard for me to sleep because my mind is so active. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're unwinding, you're stretching, you're doing yoga, you're reading, you're journaling, whatever it is that's going to help you unwind. And I would say the most important thing is to not have your phone or any electronics with you as you're unwinding, because then we become easily distracted by social media, and the light of our phones or our devices are actually, they stimulate us and they allow us to be, and they kind of make us be in this state of awareness and alertness, which you don't want to be before you fall asleep. And workout routine. Again, this is one of those things that you don't have to like go super hard in. It's whatever you're able to show up for at the given moment in your life that you're in. So this doesn't have to be extreme. This doesn't have to be intense. It just has to be movement. Move your body from 20 to 30 minutes per day. And this could be stretching. This could be walking. Just the little things that eventually will get you to more complex and elaborate things. But these are some of the routines that I really think are important for you to establish into your everyday. Number 4, let's move my little head over here. Number 4 is to limit your social media consumption. And this is because when you're becoming that girl, when you're becoming a person of healthier habits, you really need to focus on the self. You need to look within. You need to consistently be reminding yourself of your why. And you really want to minimize the overexposure that we have to other people's lives, because a lot of times that can influence what we think we want for our lives. Like, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but sometimes you're doing great. You think you're like doing well in life, and then you see someone doing better to whatever you interpret better to be. And then you get down on yourself. You're like, damn, like, you know, we fall into the comparison game, which is the third bullet here. So I'm not saying like I'm not a social media hater or anything like that. It definitely serves its purpose, especially when you have your business and even just for personal uses. But you really want to make sure that you're being cognizant of how much you are, how many external influences you're allowing to have impact on how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life, how you feel about your accomplishments. Sometimes eliminating those external influences like really causes you to be in a state of mind where you have more peace and you are more accepting of the life and the phase in your life that you're at right now. So really consider not deleting if you don't want to, of course. Like, I'm not advocating for that. I'm just advocating for a decrease in your consumption if you feel like you're just over the top with how much you're on social media. Alrighty, and number 5, let's talk about nourishment. Oh, one of my favorites. Okay, nourishment in terms of the body, the mind, and the soul. So in terms of the body, you want to be feeding yourself healthy foods. You want to make sure that you have foods that are living, whole foods, colorful foods. Make sure that you're treating your body like the temple that it is, because it allows you to do all the things that you want to do, right? So make sure that you're treating yourself properly and adequately and taking care of your health. Movement, we talked about earlier, you want to make sure that you're engaging in any type of movement to whatever capability you feel like you're able to do at this given moment, and then slowly push yourself for more. Mind. You want to make sure that you're nourishing your mind. You want to make sure that you're reading books that will help your personal growth, your development, your creativity. You want to be inspired and motivated constantly. Another thing is that podcasts are a great way as well if you're constantly on the go, like I am. Listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook. Just always be consuming things that make you feel good. It doesn't always have to be about learning. It could be about unwinding or just anything that makes you feel like you're taking something positive away from it. So now let's talk about soul. You want to make sure that you're spending time with your family, with your loved ones. You want to make sure that, you're tapping into your spirituality, whatever that may look like. That looks different for everyone. Some people do yoga, some people go to a temple, whatever that looks like for you. Just really feeding the elements of your soul that make you feel like you are complete. It's that extra element to your being that really needs to be nourished in order for you to be balanced and stable as a person. So nourishment in all of these ways, very important for you to constantly be working at. You're not always going to be perfect at it, but what matters is that you're trying little things to keep progressing. And let's go to number 6. This is the last slide that I have for us. Number 6 is community. I know a lot of times we talk about entrepreneurship or we talk about self-development, and it's a journey that for sure is very lonesome. A lot of the things that you have to reflect on are very personal, very deep, and only you know the answers to. But that's not the case for everything. And I feel like community is so important in so many ways, but sometimes it's like so hard to find, right? Because you want to be accepted and you don't want to feel judged. And a lot of us feel that way with people in our immediate surroundings, right? So there's so many awesome ways to find community these days with the virtual world. There's Facebook groups, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's LinkedIn. There's so many ways to find a community of individuals that care about the same things you care about, that also have this hunger and this craving for bettering themselves and for growing and for teaching others. And whatever it is that you are so passionate about, I guarantee that there's people out there that are going to understand and that won't be haters and that will support you on your journey. So really finding those people is honestly key, because a lot of times you're going to want to throw the towel, and community can serve as accountability, which is a very important element that we all need sometimes to keep marching forward. So there you have it. So those are some things, some characteristics and habits that I think are very important if you want to become that girl. And all that girl means is to be a person, to be a woman that wants to improve herself, that wants to improve people around her, that wants to work on herself so that she can help others, so that she can really reach the highest level of herself, the best version of herself. And that's always going to be a something that you're working at, right? But she wants to get there. I want to get there. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you want to get there. So these are just some tips that you and I have to continue implementing on a daily basis. It's not about perfection. It's about continuing to show up, even in the smallest of ways. It's about progress. It's about those small increments that will accumulate to manifest, to create the life that we want for ourselves. I hope that was helpful. If that was, let me make my head a little bit bigger so it's more personal. Hi. Yes, if you really enjoyed that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, and let's continue creating this community of other women that want the same thing for their life, which is to become better, to continue improving themselves, and to be bosses in their business. All right, go ahead and watch my other videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.